Vextal's ship moved quietly through the cold darkness of space. The alien scout had been traveling for many weeks to reach this small yellow star. The ship looked like a dark shadow against the stars, invisible to anyone who might be watching. The Galactic Council had sent Vextal on an important mission. Strange reports were coming from this solar system about a species called humans. These creatures had started leaving their home planet and spreading to other worlds nearby. This worried the council leaders very much. Vextal had done this job many times before. The scout was old and experienced, having studied over 50 different species across the galaxy. Most of the time, new species were weak and primitive. They had simple tools and basic weapons. The council would contact them, offer friendship, and slowly take control of their worlds. It was always the same pattern. But something felt different this time. The reports about humans were confusing and did not make sense. Some scouts said humans were dangerous fighters. Others said they were peaceful and kind. Some reports claimed humans had powerful weapons, while others described them as having only basic technology. The scout's ship finally reached the edge of the solar system. Vextal turned on the scanning equipment and pointed it toward the third planet from the sun. This blue and green world was called Earth by its inhabitants. The first scans showed exactly what Vextal expected to see. The humans had crude rockets that burned chemical fuel to escape their planet's gravity. Their weapons used simple explosives and metal projectiles. Their communication systems sent basic radio waves through space. Everything looked primitive and harmless. On Earth's surface, far below the alien ship, Dr. Kim Hana sat in a dark underground room filled with glowing screens. She had been waiting for this moment for many years. The sensors hidden across Earth had detected the alien vessel the moment it entered their solar system. She pressed a button on her control panel and spoke quietly into her microphone. "Command, this is Deep Space Station 7. We have a visitor. The Watcher has arrived as predicted." Miles away, in another hidden facility buried deep beneath a mountain, Director Park Jin-ho received the message. He had gray hair and tired eyes. From years of planning for this day, Park had spent his entire career preparing for first contact with alien species, but not in the way most people would expect. "How long until it begins active scanning?" Park asked through his communicator. "Approximately 6 hours," Dr. Kim replied. "All surface installations are ready. The performance can begin whenever you give the order." Park nodded and turned to the other people in the room. They were scientists, military officers, and intelligence specialists who had worked in secret for decades. "Begin Operation Looking Glass. Show them exactly what they expect to see." Across the planet, hidden teams activated carefully prepared equipment. Old rockets were moved to launch pads where the alien could easily spot them. Military bases displayed their most basic weapons in open areas. Communication towers broadcast simple messages that would seem primitive to any advanced civilization watching from space. Meanwhile, the real technology stayed hidden deep underground. Facilities that could build starships faster than light remained, sealed behind layers of rock and metal. Weapons that could destroy entire fleets were powered down and concealed. Advanced computers that had been monitoring alien civilizations for decades continued their work in silence. Vextal spent hours studying the scan results. Everything confirmed what the scout expected to find. The humans appeared to be a young species that had barely learned to leave their home planet. Their technology was thousands of years behind what the Galactic Council possessed. The alien opened a communication channel to record the first official report. "Initial assessment of species designation human is complete. Technology level shows standard primitive development. Chemical propulsion systems indicate early space exploration phase. Electromagnetic communication suggests basic information transfer capability. Weapon systems appear limited to projectile and explosive devices." Vextal paused for a moment, reviewing the data one more time. "Threat assessment is minimal. Species shows no capability for interstellar conflict or advanced warfare. Recommend standard integration protocols. Council forces should easily establish peaceful contact and guidance relationship." The scout sent the report through space toward the Galactic Council headquarters, satisfied with another routine assignment. In a few months, Council ships would arrive at Earth to make official contact. The humans would be amazed by the advanced alien technology. They would accept council membership and follow council rules just like every other species had done before. But deep beneath Earth's surface, Director Park and his team read every word of the aliens' transmission. Their hidden sensors had intercepted the message before it left the solar system. They knew exactly what the Galactic Council was planning. Phase 1 is complete, Park announced to his team. The alien believes we are primitive and harmless. Now we wait for the next phase of their investigation. Remember, every action we take must support the illusion. They cannot suspect the truth until we are ready to reveal it. As Vextal settled in for weeks of detailed observation, the alien had no idea that hundreds of human eyes were watching back. The greatest deception in galactic history had begun, and humanity was playing their role perfectly. Vextal released dozens of small spy drones from the hidden ship. Each drone was no bigger than a human finger and completely invisible to primitive detection systems. The alien scout watched through multiple screens as the tiny machines spread across Earth's surface, finding positions in major cities around the planet. The first observations puzzled Vextal greatly. Human behavior made no sense according to everything the Galactic Council knew about intelligent species. In one city, two groups of humans fought a terrible battle over territory and resources. But at the same time, medical teams from both sides worked together to save wounded soldiers from both armies. This cannot be correct, Vextal muttered, checking the drone cameras again. The readings were accurate. Humans would kill each other in the morning, then risk their lives to save the same enemies in the afternoon. The alien observed even stranger behavior when natural disasters struck the planet. A massive earthquake hit a crowded human settlement near the ocean. Buildings collapsed and fires burned everywhere. Vextal expected the humans to flee and abandon the weak members of their group, as most species did when faced with danger. Instead, Captain Lee Minho led rescue teams directly into the most dangerous areas. These humans crawled through burning wreckage to find people they had never met before. They shared their limited food and medical supplies with complete strangers. Some humans even died trying to save others who were already beyond help. Vextal recorded everything with growing confusion. Personal observation log, day 15. Human survival instincts appear defective. Individuals repeatedly sacrifice personal safety for the benefit of unknown group members. This behavior serves no logical evolutionary purpose and should have eliminated the species long ago. On Earth's surface, Captain Lee received his orders through a hidden communication device disguised as a regular military radio. Continue rescue operations as planned, came the voice from underground command. The alien is watching closely. Make sure it sees our compassion and bravery. Lee smiled as he directed his teams through the rubble. Every rescue worker knew about their hidden observer in space. They were all volunteers who understood the importance of this performance. The alien needed to see humanity as both primitive and admirable. In another part of the world, Dr. Choi Sujin monitored the aliens' spy drones from a facility buried beneath a busy city. Her computers tracked every single probe and recorded what they observed. The hidden surveillance network was so advanced it could predict where each drone would move before the alien even gave the command. The scout is focusing on our disaster response teams, Dr. Choi reported to her supervisors. It seems very interested in our emotional reactions to suffering and death. Good, replied the voice from command. Let it see how much we care about each other. That will be important for later phases of the plan. Vextal continued studying human behavior for many weeks. The aliens observed humans destroying their own environment by polluting the air and water. But the same humans also created vast protected areas where they tried to save endangered animals and plants. They spent enormous amounts of money and effort to preserve species that provided them no practical benefit. The most confusing observations came from human art and music. Even in their darkest moments of war and disaster, humans continued creating beautiful things. They wrote poems about love while their cities burned. They painted pictures of hope while facing starvation. They sang songs of peace while preparing for battle. One evening, Vextal watched a small human child named Park Sumi sitting in the ruins of her destroyed home. Her family had died in the earthquake, and she had no food or shelter. But instead of despair, the child was drawing colorful pictures in the dirt with a broken stick. She drew flowers and butterflies and smiling faces. Impossible, Vextel whispered. Every other species the alien had studied would have given up hope in such circumstances. Young members would cry and wait for death. But this human child was creating beauty even when surrounded by tragedy. The alien scout tried to understand these observations using established scientific models. Perhaps humans were simply too stupid to understand when they should be afraid. Maybe their emotional responses were caused by primitive brain development, but the evidence suggested something much more complex. Underground, General Yoon Dae-ho watched the aliens' confusion through hijacked surveillance feeds. "The scout is struggling to categorize us," he told his team. "Our behavior does not match any known species patterns." "That is exactly what we want," replied Dr. Song Hyeji, the project's lead behavioral scientist. "Confusion leads to curiosity. Curiosity leads to deeper investigation. And deeper investigation will reveal what we want it to find." As weeks passed, Vextal began to suspect that human behavior was not just strange, but completely unique in the galaxy. No other species showed such complex emotional responses or such dedication to abstract concepts like beauty and compassion. The alien scout started to wonder if the initial assessment had been too simple. But Vextal still believed humans were primitive and harmless. Their technology remained crude and basic. Their weapons were simple. Their space travel was limited to their own solar system. Whatever made humans emotionally unique, they posed no military threat to the Galactic Council. The alien scout had no idea that every observation was carefully planned by humans who had been watching alien civilizations for decades. The performance was working perfectly, and Phase 2 of humanity's greatest deception was almost complete. 3 months had passed since Vextal first arrived at Earth. The alien scout had grown comfortable with the routine observations of human behavior. Every day brought the same primitive technology and simple activities. The humans seemed exactly like dozens of other species the scout had studied before. But on this particular morning, something changed. Vextal was running a deep scan of the planet's energy signatures when the equipment detected something impossible. Massive power readings were coming from beneath the Earth's surface. The energy levels were thousands of times stronger than anything the humans showed above ground. Vextal checked the scanning equipment 3 times, thinking it must be broken. The readings stayed the same. Deep underground, something was generating more power than entire cities on the surface. This made no sense for a primitive species that still used chemical rockets and basic electricity. The alien scout expanded the scan to cover the entire planet. What Vextal discovered made the scout's 4 hearts beat faster with fear. Energy signatures were everywhere under the Earth's surface. Hidden facilities stretched across every continent, connected by networks that used technology the Galactic Council had never seen before. "This cannot be accurate," Vextal whispered, running the scans for the 4th time. The results were always the same. Beneath the primitive surface of Earth lay a vast underground civilization with power sources that defied explanation. Deep beneath the Sahara Desert, Dr. Song Hyeji monitored the aliens' growing panic from her control station. Banks of advanced computers surrounded her, each one more powerful than anything humans were supposed to possess. She smiled as she watched Vextal's confusion through hijacked surveillance feeds. "The scout has found our energy signatures," she reported to command, through a communication system that used quantum entanglement instead of radio waves. "Phase 3 is beginning right on schedule." General Yoon Dae-ho received the message in his underground fortress beneath the Korean mountains. Around him, engineers worked on spacecraft that could travel faster than light and weapons that could crack planets in half. The facility was larger than most human cities, but completely invisible from space. "How much should we let it see?" General Yoon asked. "Just enough to make it curious," Dr. Song replied. "The scout must discover our secrets gradually, or it will not believe them." Vextal spent the next several days trying to understand the energy readings. The scout sent smaller probes deeper into Earth's atmosphere, hoping to get clearer scans of whatever was hidden underground. But every time the probes got close to the energy sources, they mysteriously malfunctioned and stopped working. The alien became more desperate with each failed attempt. These energy signatures suggested technology far beyond what any primitive species should possess. If the humans really had such advanced systems, why were they still using crude rockets and basic weapons on the surface? One night, Vextal managed to get a probe deep enough to detect the edge of an underground facility. The readings showed manufacturing equipment that could build materials atom by atom. The scout observed energy shields that could protect entire cities. Most shocking of all, the probe detected what appeared to be spacecraft using propulsion systems the Galactic Council considered impossible. "Emergency analysis required," Vextal recorded in a shaking voice. "Human species may possess advanced technology previously undetected. Underground facilities show energy output consistent with interstellar civilization level. This contradicts all surface observations." The alien scout tried to send an urgent message to the Galactic Council, but something was interfering with the communication systems. Every transmission was blocked or corrupted before it could leave Earth's solar system. Vextal had never experienced such complete communication failure before. In her underground laboratory, engineer Choi Soo-jin monitored the aliens' communication attempts. Her jamming systems were so advanced they could block signals without the sender even knowing they were being interfered with. To Vextal, it simply appeared that space conditions were causing technical problems. "The scout is trying to contact its superiors," Choi reported. "Should we let one message through?" "Not yet," came the reply from command. "It needs to discover more before we allow any communication. The scout must be completely certain of what it has found." Vextal worked frantically for days, trying to gather more evidence of the hidden human technology. The scout sent dozens of probes toward different energy sources around the planet. Some probes revealed underground factories that could build entire spacecraft in hours. Others found research facilities working with exotic matter and energy types that should not exist. But the most disturbing discovery came when Vextal detected artificial gravity generators beneath several human cities. This technology was so advanced that only 3 species in the galaxy had ever mastered it. The Galactic Council had spent thousands of years developing artificial gravity, yet somehow primitive humans possessed the same capability. The alien scout realized with growing horror that everything about the initial assessment had been wrong. The humans were not primitive at all. They had been deliberately hiding their true technology while pretending to be a simple species just beginning to explore space. But why would they do such a thing? What possible reason could humans have for concealing their advanced civilization? And most frightening of all, if they were this advanced, why had they allowed Vextal to observe them for so long without making contact? As these questions filled the scout's mind with dread, Vextal had no idea that every discovery was carefully planned by humans who had been preparing for this moment for decades. The alien was learning exactly what humanity wanted it to learn, and Phase 4 of the deception was about to begin. Vextal had barely slept for days. The alien scout worked desperately to understand what was happening on Earth. Every new scan revealed more impossible technology hidden beneath the planet's surface. The humans were clearly not the primitive species they pretended to be. On the 5th day of frantic investigation, Vextal accidentally intercepted a human communication signal. The scout's equipment was not supposed to be able to decode human languages, but somehow the translation worked perfectly. What Vextal heard made the alien's blood turn cold with fear. "Project Looking Glass is proceeding as planned," said a human voice speaking in clear galactic standard language. "The alien observer has discovered our energy signatures exactly when we wanted it to. Phase 4 can begin whenever you give the order." Another voice responded, "Excellent work, Dr. Kim Hana. How long has the scout been monitoring our communications?" "Since yesterday," Dr. Kim replied. "It does not realize we know about the interception. The alien still believes it is conducting secret surveillance." Vextal's 4 hands shook as the scout continued listening to the conversation. These humans were speaking the official language of the Galactic Council with perfect grammar and pronunciation. This was impossible unless they had been in contact with galactic civilization for many years. "What about the other Watchers?" asked the second voice. "Are we ready for multiple contact scenarios?" "All preparation is complete, Admiral Hantajan," Dr. Kim answered. "We have been tracking 17 different alien scout ships over the past decade. Each one received exactly the information we wanted them to have. The alien scout felt sick with realization. The humans had known about every reconnaissance mission the Council had sent to Earth. They had been feeding false information to alien observers for years, making each scout believe they were conducting secret surveillance of a primitive species. Vextal quickly accessed older communication records, searching for more evidence of human deception. What the scout found was even more terrifying. The humans had detailed files on every species in the Galactic Council. They knew the military strength of each civilization, the location of every important planet, and the political relationships between different alien governments. But most shocking of all, Vextal discovered that humans had been reverse engineering crashed alien technology for decades. They had studied Council starships, weapons, and communication systems. Then they had improved on the alien designs and created technology that was far more advanced than anything the galaxy had ever seen. Personal log. Emergency priority. Vextal whispered into the recording device. Human species presents extreme threat level to galactic security. They have been conducting sophisticated deception operation for unknown period of time. Their true technology level exceeds Council capabilities by significant margin. The alien scout tried to send this urgent message to the Galactic Council headquarters. But once again, the communication failed completely. Every transmission was blocked before it could leave Earth's solar system. Vextal realized with growing panic that the humans had been jamming all Council communications since the scout's arrival. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Admiral Han Taejun monitored Vextal's desperate attempts to contact the galactic government. His underwater command center was larger than most space stations and equipped with technology that could destroy entire solar systems. Around him, thousands of human officers worked at stations controlling fleets of hidden starships. The scout has discovered Project Looking Glass, Admiral Han reported to his superiors. It knows we have been watching the Watchers. Perfect timing, came the reply from Director Kang Minji. Bring our guest home for a proper conversation. Admiral Han activated his personal transport system and disappeared in a flash of light. Seconds later, he materialized inside Vextal's supposedly invisible scout ship. The alien turned around in terror, seeing a human standing calmly in the middle of the secure command center. Good morning, Vextal, Admiral Han said in perfect, galactic standard. I hope you have enjoyed your stay in our solar system. The alien scout backed away in fear, reaching for the emergency weapons stored near the control panel. But Admiral Han simply smiled and gestured with one hand. Vextal's weapons disappeared completely, along with all the ship's defensive systems. Please do not be afraid, the Admiral continued. We mean you no harm. We simply need to have an important discussion about what happens next. Vextal's voice shook with terror. How long have you known I was here? Since before you entered our solar system, Admiral Han replied honestly. Our deep space sensors detected your ship 3 weeks before you arrived at Earth. We have been monitoring your every move and recording all your communications. The alien scout realized the full extent of human capabilities. They had technology that could detect stealth ships across impossible distances. They could materialize inside secure vessels without triggering any alarms. They had been watching alien civilizations for years without being discovered. What do you want from me? Vextal asked. Admiral Han's expression became serious. We want you to understand the truth about humanity before you make your final report to the Council. There are things your government needs to know about us, but that information must be delivered in exactly the right way. The Admiral gestured toward a viewing screen that showed dozens of massive human starships surrounding Vextal's tiny scout vessel. Each ship was the size of a small moon, and armed with weapons that could turn planets into dust. We have been preparing for first contact with galactic civilization for a very long time, Admiral Han explained. But we prefer to introduce ourselves on our own terms rather than wait for others to make assumptions about who we are.